Good evening, viewers. How are you doing today? It is time for the Healing Hour live. Let me get live on into. Welcome. How are you doing this? How's it going? Hey there, old friend. How are you doing too? I am here. I am Love Coach Dasha, and I'm here to help you get on the healing path after infidelity. You have been through the trauma of infidelity. You have been through the trauma of your mate cheating on you. And I know what kind of woman you are. You are a strong woman. You are a loving woman. And you feel like this is your person, even though they have hurt you in this way. You struggle to find a way to be together again, to be able to reconcile, to be able to be okay with each other again, to be able to get along again, to be able to again open and vulnerable and loving like you were before. And I'm telling you right now, it is absolutely possible. You can indeed do it. You just got to get on the healing path. And I am here to tell you about how to get on the healing path, all right? So I'm glad you're joining me today. If you're here with me now, some hearts, give me some likes, say hey. And if you are catching this on the replay, hashtag let me know that you were here afterwards because I love to come back and see that somebody got a little bit of something out of this after the we came back and watched the replay. I love that. So definitely hit me up with hashtag replay if you're catching it. All right. So we're live now. We're going to do our regular thing. Uh, of course, we have got to talk about the two things, the top two you to be doing right second. If you want to fix this, if you want to feel like you have healed and gotten control of your emotions and gotten to a better place, there are two things that you're going to need to do, and those two things are your deep breathing and your journaling. Have you been doing your deep breathing? Have you been doing your journaling? Let me know down in the comments. Tell me about it. Have you been doing your deep breathing and your journaling? Those are two things that go together. One thing all by itself, you got to do both. They are very helpful techniques to get your brain out of that automatic fight or flight in because trauma to turn that around into conscious behavior. When you're doing your deep breathing, you're more centered. You are in your body instead of in memory what terrible thing happened to you. That's with like all trauma. It's not just with this trauma. You can use deep breathing in almost all trauma. So you need to be doing that. Jennifer, you said you're not doing it consistently. Get on that, okay? It's going to help you feel better for several reasons. But the big thing are going to be bringing your anxiety level down a step at a time, a day at a time. You're not going to be letting it just run wild and then take you with it. You're going to be able to soothe, bring yourself to a more manageable place. And then you can deal with the healing part. If your emotions are so out of control and you're just still devastated and just not able to get control of yourself, you're not going to have an easy time being able to get your point across, being able to rebuild trust. You're not going to be able to do that because your emotions are all over the place. You can't rebuild trust because your emotions are so wacky, trustworthy. So we need to be getting control of that. I know it's hard, but we need to be working on the deep breathing and the journaling because that is going to help you. So the first thing is the deep breathing. What do we do with that? I do a practice called 4-7-8 breathing. You can choose whatever breathing you want. I just so happen to have a video on YouTube on my Love Coach Dasha channel, where I just do the breathing technique with you 5 times. So if you don't have another technique and you'd like to use one, go ahead and use that one. But if you have one and you want to do, make sure 5 times, 5 times a day. When you're doing that, you are purposely coming back to your center. You are dragging yourself from the past, from the pain that you're experiencing, and bringing yourself into the present where you are not currently being hurt. You are trying to recover. You are trying to reconcile. So you got to bring yourself back. Jennifer, you said you watched it when you were freaked out. It's good to have somebody to like walk you through it when you're having a little panic attack, when you're having a little moment. it's good to have somebody to walk you through it. So you can always use mine, but hey, if you got a different one, cool, you use that. But 5 times, 5 times a day, especially first thing when you get up in the morning, when you first wake up before you put foot to floor, just take a moment for yourself and do your deep breathing. And drink 12 swallows too. Before you get up out of the bed, before you put foot to floor in the morning, do your deep breathing, drink 12 swallows of water. It's going to start to help you. It'll start waking up your body. You'll feel more in control of yourself. And at night, before you go to bed, it just takes all of that information that's in your head and gives you a chance to dump it out and just let it go. So right before bed, I need you to do your deep breathing. My water. Oh, there we go. All right. So what I want you to do is blow out like you're trying to blow out birthday candles, like you're trying to deflate your lungs completely. Then you want to inhale, usually through your nose, but if you can't breathe through your nose, the blood, that's fine. Just breathe through your mouth for a count of 4. Then you're going to hold that breath for a count of 7 and blow out like you're trying to blow out an entire birthday cake full of birthday candles with a count of 8. So you're going to blow for a count of 8. When you are blowing, make the noise, okay? It seems silly at the time, but you are giving yourself an extra trigger. You're giving yourself a trigger about calming down. You know how you have triggers that freak you out? Guess what? You can have triggers that calm you down too. So the sound of blowing that air between pursed lips is going to remind you that you are calm, you are safe, you are centered, you do not freak out right now. It will get back in control of your brain. Stop freaking out on all the time, okay? So we're gonna do that. We're gonna do it 3 times just for the sake of brevity. But like I said, I have watch it. Do it before you go to bed. Make you feel better. All right. So we're gonna blow through your nose. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, inhale. 2, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last time. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Fabulous. How do you feel? I still do my deep breathing. Don't think that I'm just telling you this. And, oh, I don't do it anymore. On the basis, this is like I can fall into it because I have done it that I don't have to think about the numbers. I don't have to think about it very hard. All I got to do is start to breathe, bring myself back to my body into my center, and I feel better. I know it works because I do it, okay? I don't tell you things that I have not tried, that I don't know work, okay? So do it. Just trust me on it. You don't have to think too hard about it. Just go for it. Try doing deep breathing 5 times a day. Schedule it. Give at least that much self-care time to take your deep breaths. If you can do that for yourself, what you're going to be doing, showing that you can calm yourself, that you're not freaking, that you're not in any danger, and then that's going to be able to get along with right now in the emotional state you're in. They are the perpetrator. They are the person that is going to hurt you, and if you do not get control of anything, you are automatically going into that fight or flight situation. So you, well, I'm going to be a victim, and I better keep up my fight or I better run because this. But when you do your deep breathing, you tell your brain, no such thing is happening. Everyone I love, this is the person that causes me, this is the person that them, everything is soothed, and what you need to know about this person. The more it will pick up on what it will your brain will give you feedback of what you give it. Whatever you tell your brain to believe, on a consistent basis, it will bleed. Like everybody feels like all of this is their fault. They weren't enough. They weren't pretty enough. They weren't loved enough. And you can tell yourself that enough times that your brain is like, okay, yeah, I guess that is the truth. And so it starts to believe it. But you can do the exact opposite too. You can bring your brain back around and know you did not do this. This was not your fault. Love, and you can tell your brain too. All right. Second thing is get your journal done. Why are you not doing your journaling? I do my journaling every day. Every now and again I forget. I forgot yesterday. Every now and again I forget, but on a day-to-day basis, I am doing some journaling. I am sitting down, I am pouring out some feelings, I'm thinking about what's going on during my day. I am in the morning giving myself a couple of minutes, what my day is gonna be like, giving myself that attitude adjustment. I do affirmations and stuff in the morning too. So you get your mind right going forward. So that's the best way to do it. Journal affirmations, do some positive, do your prayer, whatever it is that you do that to you first thing in the morning. But make sure your journaling is a part of that. Right? But think too, you gotta sit down with your journal. Take a moment, dump out the day. Whatever was freaking you, things that stressed you, triggers that popped up during the day that you weren't expecting, things that you were expecting, the good things and the bad. Write them down in your journal. Do not forget your date, your time, your anxiety level. Need to go at the top and then at the bottom put your anxiety level again because you'll see that it has calmed down a little bit while you were journaling. 0 to 10, 0 is no anxiety whatsoever. Always right with the world, guys. Heaven, you're fine. And then there is a 10. A 10 is a complete loss of control. A 10 is I want to rip my hair out, tear my clothes off, run screaming down the street naked, and there's not really anything anybody can do about it. Okay, it's control. So chances are, if you're a 0 or 10, you're not really going to feel like writing. But if you are capable when you're journaling writing, then chances are you're not quite at a 10. If you're a 0 and you're writing, great. Write that down so you remember that good things do happen, all right? I don't care what kind of journal you get. What this one came from the Dollar Tree. This one came from Five Below. You can stick it in your pocket. There's another. Oh, this one came from Five Below too. Look, I got a Golden Girls journal. Look at this. I'm trying to tell you, they have all types of journals. It does not matter what kind of get one that you want to write in. Something that is beautiful, that makes you want to open it up and pour your heart out. Anything. And this is my favorite pen right now. Paper Mate Ink Joys gel pens. My favorite pen in the whole world right now. But that switches from month to month. Whatever you want to write with, whatever you want to write in, write in your journal. All right? All right, so that's out of the way. We talked about that now because I always have to tell you because people forget. I know, even people I talk to on a regular basis, I'm like, hey, did you do your deep breathing? And they're like, no, I didn't. Because it's so easy to forget. It's one of those things that if you don't do it consistently, it's easy to forget because it's breathing. You feel like I should be able to breathe without thinking about it. But when you are in distress, your breathing is different. So you have to regain control over your breath and be able to calm yourself down. All right, let's see. Oh, it is Thirsty Thursday. I love Thirsty Thursday. We got to hear some good news on Thirsty Thursday. That is my point for doing the Thirsty Thursday thing. I want you to remember that there is good in your life, okay? I do not want you to sit here stuck feeling like just because you got cheated on, that's it. That's all. That's your whole life from now on is trying to get over that. No, you have good stuff that happens every single day, and you gotta grasp it and appreciate it and show some gratitude for it. That is another thing that you can do that will consistently help you heal. Your deep breathing, your journaling, gratitude. Okay, so you gotta be grateful for the good stuff that happens in your life on a regular basis. Pay attention to it as it happens, or else it'll just pass you by in the fog of being in pain. It will just pass by you and you won't accept that good things do actually happen to you. So I always like to talk about a little good Thirsty Thursday news. Peggy said, this is good stuff. Peggy said he went to couples counseling with me yesterday without balking. Oh, you know what you wanted to say, right? He did not bitch about it at all. But I am so glad that happened for you, Peggy. Hopefully it went well, but just that step, just make sure you show him appreciation. Baby, I am so happy. I feel so touched and so open with you that you decided to go with me to counseling and you didn't even complain about it. That's why you're my boo. That's why you're my honey. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of stuff that I'm looking for from you. Pat him on the back, boost him up, let him know that when he does something good, you will see it and you will appreciate it, and then he will try again to do something else that's good, and it will continue on that way. Give that gratitude, try and show that you care. After cheating, a lot of the time you feel like you just have to dole out punishment. If I am appreciative, if I'm grateful for the things that he does, if I show that I notice them, then that's gonna just make him feel like, oh, well, I can do whatever I want to her because she's just going to forgive me and she's just going to act like normal anyway. That is not what it does. What you're actually doing by showing them that things can be good again, that you can have appreciation for them, you can stop being angry with them long enough to tell them a positive thing, shows them some hope. They are looking for some hope just like you are. They are worried that this is just going to be our life from now on. You're going to continue to talk about how bad I messed up for the rest of our lives, and it's just never going to get any better. But when you are showing that it can be better, they're going to really try and make it better on a regular basis. So keep up the good work, Peggy. Good job. Beth, you're here with me now. Hey, Beth. It's Beth said, I got 2 full nights of sleep in a row. Yes. He said, my husband's working out of state and it's hard to fall asleep. I know that's right. I had to stop working out of town because I was like, dude, I need my husband. I need to be next to you. I grew up in a military area. And so that was the thing. Like everybody was going to be with somebody who was apart from them. I was like, I don't want to do that. So I purposely made sure I found somebody that I could be with every night. But your honey is out here doing his thing. He is out here serving the country. So, hey, you know what I'm saying? He is helping people. So you gotta tuck in and put some pillows on his side of the bed and put a shirt on one of his shirts on his pillow so you can cuddle up with it and just work through it. Work through it. But you're doing good that you got a good couple of nights of sleep in. I'm so glad for you. Yes, I'm glad that happened because it sucks with no sleep. No sleep is a killer. All right, let's see. That's all I got for Thirsty Thursday. But of course, you can always tell me good things. I always want to hear good stuff from you. I always want to hear about if you're doing your deep breathing and if you're doing your journaling. So feel free to message me, Love Coach Dasha, on Facebook, on Instagram. Go ahead and message me and tell me, hey, Dasha, Coach, the deep breathing is working. The journaling is helping me. Tell me that. I need to know that. Let me know that because that makes me feel better. Because I'm not going to stop telling people. I'm not going to stop telling you to do it on a regular basis. I'm not going to do that every week. I'm going to tell you every single week. But it comforts me to know that you're actually hearing me, you're actually listening and doing it because it really does help. Okay, we are only doing things that are going to keep us on the healing path. So that's one. Those are two. That and gratitude. Your journal, your deep breathing, and your gratitude. Those are 3 things that you need to keep up with. All right. Let's see. I got questions. Well, before I answer questions from the group, any questions from anybody that's here right now? I'll give you first shot since you're here with me live. If you want to ask a question on the replay, just hit hashtag replay and ask your question. I will come back later on and give you an answer to it. But for right now, if you are here with me right this second, and I am loving you for being here, go ahead and ask me any questions that you want to ask now, okay? All righty, let's see. Some good stuff. We got some good questions and stuff in the group. There was a couple of anonymous ones that I think I wanted to talk to you about too. But let's start with my post about going live. I always have some people that come up and ask me really good questions when I talk about going live. So we're gonna answer those too. All right. Anybody first? Let's see. Anybody live with me first? I don't see any yet. Okay. It's all right. You can still ask. Just go ahead. I was going to give you first crack at it. All right. So Peggy asked, how do I avoid the bad feelings that come up when other people question why I stay with him? And I start wondering myself if it's worth it. All right. Oh, this brings up several subjects. But the first one is this is why we don't tell people. This is why we keep people out of our business. Now, I know that it may be too late for that. I get it. I understand that a lot of people have already talked to people that they know. But the thing about being in a relationship is you have your little circle. It's the two of you in this circle. And not everybody should know what's going on with the two of you in that circle. So if you're having trouble, you want to try and avoid telling people. First of all, people are haters. People will hate on you and try and make it worse, or they will try and help you and make it worse. And they will get mad and take sides, which makes it worse because then you feel like you're constantly having to defend your decision. So if you can possibly help it, limit who you're going to talk to people that can actually help you. Talk to a professional, get a psychiatrist, get a psychologist, get a coach, and talk to one of us instead of spreading it around to friends and family. Now I know, okay, it's already too late for that. So now when they're asking you why you stay with them, you say, this is my husband. I love him. We are working things out. This is who I want to be with. And you have to sound sure of yourself because if you come at it sounding hesitant, people will try and help you. People will try and give you advice that you didn't ask for because they think that you're unhappy. And so they'll try and help you be happy. But you don't need all that. You don't need that extra. If you're asking for a little bit of support, fine. But people's version of supporting you when you're going through something like that is usually not very productive for actually healing. People will respond from their own pain point. They will respond from, oh, if this happened, oh goodness, if this happened to me, oh Lord, I'm talking too fast. If this happened to me, I would feel this way about it, and this is what I would do. And so they're trying to give you their idea about what would happen if they were in the situation. Now, that comes from two different places. One is they have never been through it before. They do not know exactly how you're feeling. They have never been through it. And if they ever were cheated on, they really do feel like even with the person that they're with right now and they love very much, they would still walk away. All right, that comes from that place. And then there's the place of this did happen to them before. They may or may not tell you that it happened to them before, but they stayed. And then now they are trying to reflect that choice onto you. They're trying to give you a hard time about why you're staying when they really are upset about the reasons that they stayed. I truly believe like the only reason that's really worth it to stay is because you love the person. And you can speak strongly from that. If love is the real reason that you're doing this, that you are going through all this with him, you want your life to be intertwined with that person's life because you love them so much and you feel like they are your person, you feel like they are your connection, then you can say that to people. You can just go ahead and speak on it. And it may sound naive to them or whatever, but if you have that type of love where you're working on unconditional love here, that's what you're doing. You are literally trying your very best to experience what unconditional love is all about. And if you can just come from that place and not get upset and wrapped up in what they're saying, you will feel stronger in your decision. We were talking about the decision last week. You're going to feel stronger in your decision to go forward with this. The another part of what is going on with your friends and family, and when you start questioning because what they're saying, that is from fear speech. That's the second part of the dreams formula. Damn, you were Peggy. You done gave me a lead in to talk about the second part of the dreams formula because we talked about the first one last week. We talked about deciding, making the decision that this is what you want to do. Now you got to deal with the fear speech. the R of the dreams formula is recognizing and overcoming the fear speech that you're going to encounter when making such a big decision like this. You are going to deal with the fear speech from outside and from inside. Okay, other people's fear speech comes from that place of worrying about how they would feel. It isn't really about you. So they're going to try and make you feel bad for staying, but it's not about you. It's about them and what they would want. So you got to just let that go. And they are going to be working on you so that your fear speech starts coming up because you didn't need them to start worrying about if it was worth it. You already had that thought going in your brain, but when they are telling you on the outside that you should feel that way and the inside is yelling that you should feel that way, it seems like it's true. When you have fear coming at you from all directions, it seems like it's true, but it is not. Okay, that is just fear. It is their fears, it is your fears, combine it all up to make you feel like you should withdraw from the person that you love because that's what trauma wants. Trauma wants you to isolate. Remember that. That is key. That is clutch. When you remember that, you will stop backing up every time the fear wants you to. So that's what it is. When you're wondering if it's worth it, you've already made this decision. Don't keep second guessing yourself, okay? Like we talked about last week, that was the most important thing you could do was making this decision for yourself. You've already made it. So don't worry about what other people have to say about it and don't talk to them about it. If they cannot understand, okay, this is what I'm doing and I need you to support me and they won't do that for you, then leave them behind. You don't need them. You don't. If anybody who will hear you say that this is what I'm going for, that is what I need support from you to do, and they refuse to do it, they're not useful. If they're not a help, they're a hindrance. If they're a hindrance, they need to get out of the way. So push those people to the side and then remember your decision. Remember that this is about your love. This is about how you want your life to be. Not about somebody else, not about what they have done wrong, not about what other people are going to say. This is about you and what you want. And hold fast to that, hold tight to that, because I feel like with women that gets lost a lot. I feel like we get wrapped up in our doubts and our fears and what other people say we should doubt and fear, and then we don't hold tight to the things that we really want and we let them pass us by and then we live with regret. And I don't want you to live with any regrets, all right? I don't want you to do that, Becky. So I hope that help you a little bit and help you understand what's going on there dealing with the fear speech. You have to just recognize it for what it is and say no to it. You have to just decide that that's not what you are going to accept into your life. Tell yourself positive message. Tell yourself messages of gratitude, of appreciation, of love, of vulnerability, of trust, of happiness instead of fear. Okay? Don't do what the fear tells you to do. I tell you that every week, I think. Do not do what the fear tells you to do. The fear wants you to separate. The fear is not in agreement with what you are trying to do. You are trying to bring it back together. You are trying to reconcile and be happy and loving together and be okay. And the fear is like, no. Fear wants you to break apart and not be together. So we cannot do what the fear is telling us to do. We just have to be mindful about it and then proceed to not do the thing that it's telling us to do. So give yourself lots of positive affirmations about it. Do whatever you need to do to remind yourself that that is not the path that you are choosing. All right. Hope that helps. Hope that helps. Hope that makes sense to you, baby. You let me know if it does not. All right. Jennifer said that was a good question. It really is a good question, right? And you said we talked about that today, and the whole talk is directed at me today. It's not really directed at you, Jennifer. Because I do talk to you on a regular, but I this you're not alone. That's the whole thing. You're not by yourself. This happens to everybody. This is like the same exact stuff, the same exact thoughts, the same exact process happens to everybody. You're not by yourself. This is exactly how it goes. That's how I know how to make it into a formula, is because it has a certain pattern to it. There are things that happen when you go through this type of trauma that just that automatically come up. So it's not specifically for you, but you can feel like it's for you today, Jennifer. You can gather that up for yourself. All right, and everybody else who is watching, gather that up for yourself. Hold on tight to it. Does that make sense, though, Jennifer? Because Peggy's not here, but does it make sense of what I'm talking about to recognize that that is fear speech coming from the outside and coming from the inside, and that you just have to replace that speech. Does that make sense? Oh, it does, because it's just about okay, good, good. It's just about practicing it. It's about practicing changing that fear speech. You're not good at anything starting off. Nobody is. Okay, that is just a fact of life. Nobody is good at anything when they first do it. But with a little bit of practice, just repetition, a little consistency, you can do anything. You can practice and become anything you so choose. And if you want to become peaceful and trusting and happy, there you go. Jennifer, you said you'd share me. I'm so happy that you were willing to share me, Jennifer. I want to help as many women as possible. Not just you, because like I said, you are not alone. There's so many women going through exactly the same things that you are. And even if it's not the exact same story, all the elements are always the same. I have been doing this for specifically just working with people who have tried to get over cheating for almost 3 years now. And the things don't change. They don't. They are always the same. So you just got to work on them. You got to be consistent. You got to practice. Trust is practice. Having good sex again is practice. Dive right into that if you possibly can. But just recognize that you're not going to be great at it at first, and give yourself some compassion and some mercy, because you never tried to do this before. You've never really tried to be okay after such a big trauma before. So you are learning a life skill that is going to serve you in the future, because this is not the last trauma you are going to encounter. When you go into the next trauma, you will know the steps to bring yourself mind state into, okay, I can do this. I overcame cheating. I overcame something I thought that was going to kill me. I thought it was just going to take me out, and I overcame it. So this new trauma is not as big and scary as it's trying to make itself out to be, and I can do better with this one. I can't do it. So that's the way I want you to take it. I want you to go forward and believe that you can do this, and practice it on a day-to-day basis. And I promise it gets better. I promise you. I would not promise you if I didn't know for sure. All right, let's see. Next question. Oh, let's see. Communication tips. Sky said she needs some communication tips. She said we can't even tell when the other person is joking and flirting. I feel as if we don't even know how to anymore. He can't do it through text, and I can't do it in person. We're complete opposites. Oh, I know. I know, girl. It's so hard. Okay. Wherever possible, communicate face to face, because it's very easy for a text message to go to the left. Okay. You're saying that you have a hard time coming across like you're joking or flirting in person. You probably need to stop joking and flirting for a little while. Just for a little bit. Get into the habit of thinking about what it is you're trying to say, and if it could come across as negative. You may be thinking for a moment that it's flirty. You may be thinking for a moment that it is um, more joking, but a lot of jokes are rooted in truth. Okay, so just for a short time, observe your humor, observe what you were about to say. For him, if he can't do it in text, he can't act. You don't know if he's joking or being flirty in text. Assume that he is. Okay, right from the gate. Always assume the most positive thing that you possibly can from your interaction. Does that make sense? Doesn't matter. Whatever the interaction is, even if you're like, what the hell does he mean by that? When you look at the phone, assume that what he's trying to do is joke with you and be funny. Because from both sides, okay, you're both all thrown off. All right. It's very difficult to get yourself back into that flirty, fun mindset when you are hurting, when you are hurting. And they are hurting just like you are. Don't think that he's not hurting too, because he has hurt you and you are definitely trying to hurt him. I know you don't probably don't think you are, but we all do it. And so you were lashing out at him, he's lashing out at you, and nobody can tell when anything is good anymore. So just assume the best. Okay? Automatically, when you recognize, I don't know if he's joking or not. Yes, he is joking, and laugh. Okay, practice laughing. Again, everything is practice, even down to your laughing, even down to you smiling again, is going to be practicing it, giving yourself the opportunity to. So, if that is the case, this is a good opportunity to practice smiling, practice laughing, and practice assuming the best of him. So, whatever he texts, you're going to assume that it was something positive. You're going to assume that he was trying to say something open and heartfelt and loving to you and joking and sexy and fun to you. That's what you're going to automatically think. All right. And for yourself, just take a little bit of time off from the joking, from the flirting. You don't even have to flirt with men. You don't have to do that. You can just tell men directly, "Hey, come get it," and they're gonna be fine with that. Okay, so you don't have to try and be extra with the flirting. You don't have to try and be all involved with it. All you have to do, if you're in the mood, just let them know. But just back off of doing the flirting and doing the joking for maybe about 2 weeks and check your responses. Write it down. Journal. That's why you got the journal, okay? Take the journal and write down, okay, today I was going to say, does this sound like a joke? Today I was going to say XYZ. Does this sound flirty? Does this sound like a joke? Could this be taken a different way? Could this be heard in a different manner from him? And examine what it is you're saying. Because, like I said, a lot of jokes are based in truth. So you'll be jabbing and saying something mean about him in your joke because it's what you're feeling at the moment, and you'll try and put it across as a joke to say that, oh well, yeah, I'm feeling lighthearted about it, but you're not. Okay, so don't try and joke about anything that is a tender spot right now. Don't do it, and just don't do any joking or flirting for about 2 weeks, and just examine what it is you're saying. Become aware, and then that's a key thing, a mindset thing that you really need to learn going forward. Same thing as with the fear speech. You need to monitor what it is you are saying and think about what it is that you're saying. Break it down for yourself, and don't let it always be negative. You can stop yourself a lot of the time before you say something that is going to throw the whole night off, because you'll feel like you'll feel justified. You will feel it rising up in your chest that, ooh, this is a good one. And it could sort of feel like it's a joke, but it's not. It's a more malicious feeling. So you will recognize better if you just stop for a couple of weeks when you are actually being funny, when you were really trying to just make a joke, just trying to make them smile, just trying to make them laugh, and when you were trying to press a button. Okay? Does that make sense to you, Sky? That you let me know. Hopefully you see this. But back and forth, accept that whatever it is that he's trying to be funny about, he is just not all that funny at the moment because you're in a stress state. You're upset, he's upset. Nobody is as clear as they would like to be. That's another reason to just kind of lay off of the joking and the flirting for a little while, because you're not coming across the way you think you are. When you're in pain, when you are distracted, you think that you're being positive and you're really not. So I hope that makes sense. You let me know if that makes sense to you. Let me see if anybody's got any questions about that. So that said, oh my God, I have to work on the joking flirting too. It's a thing. It's, again, practice. Practice. You got to say, okay, am I really joking? Is that really what I'm doing? Or am I poking? Joking or poking? We're gonna ask ourselves that from now on, instead of just automatically saying the joke. Am I trying to poke at the piece and irritate him and get agitated, or Am I really joking? Am I trying to have fun and be lighthearted? You have to think about these things. Um, Everything that you're going to be doing for a little while, you're going to have to be a little bit more mindful about. That's all. Just a little bit more mindful. I'm not saying you never can say what's on your mind. You can't ever say what you're thinking and what you're feeling in the moment. But you need to be more mindful of it because you're in pain. And so hurt people hurt people. Whether you're intending it or not, you might have just been like, screw it, I'm just going to poke the piece today and jab at it, all right? So you just got to be more mindful, thinking about what it is that you're about to say and do, all right? Hope that makes sense. Everybody, do you feel like that makes sense? You let me know if I sound crazy to you. Sometimes I will. I don't think that I won't. Sometimes I'm gonna tell you things and you're gonna be like, "No, coach, no, I cannot possibly do that. That's crazy." But I promise you, it will work. Okay? I don't tell you anything that is just crazy for the sake of crazy. I tell you things that are like shortcuts to getting to where you want to be. What you want to do is short circuit all of this terrible pain and nastiness you're going through and get to the other side of it, right? That's what we're going for. So I will tell you the things to get there, but you're not always going to believe them. You're not always going to feel like they're positive. You're going to be like, no, I don't want to. Just try it. Go for it. All right. Let's see. Jennifer, like I was saying to you today, do or do not. There is no try. That's one of my favorite quotes. That's Yoda all the way. There is no trying. You either do it or you don't. You either practice this or you don't. And if you're not practicing, you're not getting better. You're not feeling better. You're not improving the relationship. You're just staying stuck. So if you decide that last week, your decision, if you decide that you want to heal, then you have to deal with the fear speech that comes up because of that decision, because your brain is not going to be happy about you deciding to heal and get close to this person again. But you have to make up your mind that the fear is not going to stop you. You're going to go for it anyway. And when you go for it and when you practice it on a regular basis, it gets better. It does. Let's see. We had a group member. Nobody answered this question, but she said, "Why do I feel like I'm always walking on eggshells? Like the minute I do something he might not like, he'll go back to online emotional relationships where he tells women he loves them and wants to be with them instead of me." All right. So I do not know who that is because that was an anonymous post, but let me tell you, Miss Anonymous, that you are taking on too much responsibility for this. You are believing that your responses, that you doing something, even if you did something wrong, is the reason why he was running out and having online emotional relationships. That didn't have anything to do with it. One thing does not have to do with the other. He did what he did because he chose to do it. It is not because of you. It is not, oh, it's all your fault. Oh, you did something wrong, so he felt like he had to. That feeling came from within him. Now, usually with the whole multiple online emotional thing, that is like a little bit of manipulation, but it's more to the effect of I want to see if I still got it. I want to talk that talk and see if these women will fall for what I'm saying and tell me and give me lots of attention and tell me good things that I want to hear, and then I will feel good about myself. That's where that comes from. It does not come from, oh, I did the wrong thing. And second of all, crush the damn eggshells. Step on them, okay? Crush them up. And then we'll just keep on going from there because you've got to stop being afraid of the person that you love. Again, the fear speech. The fear creeps in so many just insidious ways. And you have to be on the lookout for it. This is fear speech. This is you telling yourself that if you do something wrong, then that is going to cause him to just go right back out and do the same exact thing all over again. It's not true. You're taking on way too much responsibility for somebody else's behavior. All right. So I want you to stop being scared of making him mad. All right. Stop being worried about that because I'm willing to bet when you want to talk about it, you're not worried about making them mad. So I want you to stop worrying about walking on eggshells. You just do your best. That's it. That's it. That's all I ask of anybody any other time is just to do your best. to do what you know is right in any situation and to live up to who you actually are. No more, no less. Don't keep worrying about, oh, if I do something terrible, then he's going to feel like he's justified in doing me wrong. No, that's just not true. It's just not a truth. Don't tell yourself that story, because what happens is you start telling yourself these stories based in the fear, and then you start believing them. So we cannot do that. We are going to just go ahead and do our best. I think, Miss Anonymous, that you are doing your absolute best, and you're gonna have to stop being so hard on yourself. You probably need a little bit of self care. If you are feeling like this, you're always walking on eggshells, you're always trying to do the right thing, and you feel like you're gonna miss something. You need some self care. You need some time for yourself. You need to go ahead and take your hot bath. You need to buy yourself something, whatever your love language is. Check out your five love languages, everybody. If you have not yet, you need to know that. Check out your five love languages and then love yourself like that. Okay? I know it's crazy. It's the craziest thing. But if you know what your love language is, love yourself like that. I am a big gift giving, words of affirmation type of person. I have started saying my affirmations every single solitary morning, a couple times a day sometimes. And I give myself gifts when I'm feeling like I need a little bit of extra care. And I do that for myself, and it cheers me right up because those are my love languages. I know them very well, so I might as well do them for myself. So do that for yourself. Whatever your love language is, do those things for yourself and appreciate yourself and love on yourself a little bit more and take care of yourself a little bit more. You don't need to walk on eggshells. If he is just going to explode and he's going to be upset and he's just going to go run do whatever he wants to do, he's going to do that anyway. He would do that even if you were doing absolutely perfect. So don't worry about that. Go ahead and take care of yourself and be the best that you can actually be. Try to walk the path of healing, of love. Don't react with fear to him. I mean, you're not reacting with fear to him. You're going to react with love, and then you're going to be doing the right thing so you don't have to worry about it. All right? That makes sense? I hope that makes sense. Let me check and make sure anybody got any questions about that. Oh, makes good sense to you. All right, see, Beth, thank you. I love having you all here because it's such good feedback. I get to know if because I will go off on a tangent every now and again and be like, did I actually answer that question? Everything makes me think of something else because this is such an integrated topic. There's so many different threads to pull, and so every now and again I forget what I'm like where I'm exactly going with the thought. So I'm glad you all are here to keep me on track to let me know that I'm making sense. All right. Let's see. Oh, I forgot to say Mindy. Mindy's anniversary was this past week. She had a good time. She didn't put anything about him cheating in the card. It was beautiful. I was very proud of her for doing that. Let's see. I know there was another question. I can't find it. Any other questions? Let me know. Let me know if there's anything that you would like to ask me like now. Because we only got a few minutes left. Oh, while I'm sitting here reminding you just to go on over to my Love Coach Dasha YouTube and subscribe for me, please. I need some subscribers. I don't have very many over there. I know everybody likes to interact with me in person, and so it's a little different on YouTube. But go over there and like so that I can get my page off the ground. Go ahead on and get that out there in front of people. Um, and if you're not with me on Instagram, come follow me on Instagram. Show me pictures. I will show you love. And I've been onto the reels thing for a minute now, so I'm like, okay, yeah, I got a plan for that. I'm gonna have some frequent reels coming up soon here, teaching you some things on reels. And of course, if you're not in my Love After Cheating group, like, what are you doing? Dude, what are you doing? Come to the Love After Cheating group in Facebook. You need to come over there. That's where I answer all my questions. That's where I'm at every day. I give them a little bit of something to do every single solitary day to get on the healing path. So if you want like day to day, what did coach say to do today? It's there. All right. So I need you to go ahead on and join me in the Love After Cheating group. Let's see. I could have sworn there was like another anonymous one up here, but of course now I cannot find it. Let me go back over here. Anything? Oh, Beth, you got a question for me. Fabulous. Thank you. The difference between short circuiting and squashing down feelings. I don't want you to short circuit. I don't want you to squash down anything. I want you to feel what you feel. That's fine. You can feel any kind of way you want, any time you want. But the thing is that you have to remember that you have to hold tight to is feelings are designed to be temporary. They're not supposed to be just every single day. You're hanging on to the same feeling, it's killing you. You're not supposed to be holding on to it. That's the thing. Letting it go is different than squashing it down. Squashing it down is trying not to experience it. Squashing it down is trying to act like it doesn't exist. And your feelings do not like that, okay? They get really pissed off when you do stuff like that. So you have to actually feel your feelings, but then let them be gone. Let them slide on by and let the next feeling come. It might be a good feeling, it might be a bad feeling. Who knows? But you won't know that if you're clinging to that negative feeling and you're just holding on to it tight and wrestling it to the ground and trying to make it stay with you. You gotta blow out and just release. Let it go. If there is nothing you can do about it, you can let it go. Think about that. It, ways to decide if you're like squashing it down or if you're just letting go. If there is something you can do about the feeling, okay, then do the thing about the feeling. Don't just keep on holding on to the feeling. Do the thing, and that will make you feel better, okay? It could be anything. You could be listening to music, dancing, doing a jog, writing, reading, whatever it is, taking a bath, drinking some chamomile tea. I don't care what it is. You can do whatever it is that will make you feel better. You just have to remember you're not trying to hang on to that feeling forever, okay? The feelings will pass. Feelings flow. That is natural to how feelings work. But when you cling to them, they will stick around. So it's not, women always say, it's sweeping it under the rug when I let it go. When I go to the next thing, hey, Ray. And when I go to the next chapter, when I let this go and move forward, then I'm just sweeping it under the rug and none of the feelings will ever be addressed. That's not so. You can get your feelings addressed, but not all the feelings will be addressed all at the same time and fixed all at the same time. You have to just know, and you just have to know that, okay, I'm going to work on this. I'm going to work on this feeling. I feel like I'm not really trusting. I'm feeling distrust right now. Okay, all right. What I can do is I can practice being trusting. I can work on that. Not just sitting it to the side and like, oh, I just don't trust, and pushing that down and just deciding that's okay, that you're just not going to trust. You have to actively work against it. So it's not really sweeping it under the rug. It's not squashing down those feelings. You can feel how you are feeling, but you can't unpack and live there. Does that make sense? That's the way I usually describe it. Can't unpack and live there. Can't just take your bags off, kick your shoes off, and live in that negative emotion. You can't. You will cause yourself major stress and distress because you're just trying to live in an emotion that should be temporary. It should be able to pass. So check it out. If there's something you can do about it, do the thing. If there's nothing you can do about it, exhale and let it go for now. It will come up again. Don't worry. It's okay. You don't have to solve every problem to move past every problem. Sometimes you can just leave the problem down, let it sit for a minute, let it work, let it marinate, and then a little bit later on, it's a little bit more tender. Now you're like, okay, I can work with this a little bit better now. I can do something about these feelings now. But if you keep on working on it, it's just gonna be tough. and you're not going to be able to get past it. All right. So does that make sense? Let me know that. I want you to be able to acknowledge what your feeling is, but if it's not helping you in any way, shape, or form, it's okay to let it go. It's okay to let it pass. It'll come back up again if really need be. And if it doesn't come back up again, well, hallelujah. Isn't that a beautiful thing? But more than likely it will. But if it doesn't, then you have moved past it, you've let it go, and it is not disturbing you anymore. Hope that makes sense. All right, let's see. Let's see. I think that's all the questions I got for right now. We're coming up on the end of the hour now. But any other questions? Any other thoughts, questions, comments, complaints? I take them all. I want to hear about how you're going to heal on the healing path after infidelity. I know it sucks. Sucks to be cheated on. You're like, damn, I've got to be better than this. And you are. It didn't have anything to do with you. It didn't have anything to do with what was going on with you. People choose to do the wrong thing because of themselves, not of other people. So, you can only do the right thing now. Just because you're hurting doesn't mean that you should just listen to the fear, listen to the pain, and do whatever it says. All right. Betty said you're taking notes. All right. But yeah, you don't have to do that. You don't have to live in that misery. You don't have to do it. I know it feels like sometimes you have to, but you don't. You can when you're feeling like I have to do something, question that feeling, because a lot of the time you are giving yourself a false boundary. You are telling yourself a story that oh, I have to live within these margins, and you really don't. Your life does not have to be anywhere near the boundaries that you think it is. Your life can be leaps and bounds beyond what you think your life is going to be. So don't limit yourself, all right? You are going for unconditional love, which is, isn't that the dream? Isn't that what everybody wants? Everybody wants to be loved and love unconditionally. Well, that is what you're doing when you're trying to get over infidelity. When you are trying to stay with your partner after they have cheated, you are trying to exercise unconditional love. You're trying to really experience it and put it out there into the world. And that's a beautiful thing. You shouldn't be ashamed of that. You shouldn't feel bad about that. You should just go for it. You should pour yourself into it as much as you possibly can. And it's rewarding when you do. That's what happened with me. I poured myself into, I'm going to love this person unconditionally. I don't care how crazy he acts. I don't care. We are going to get on the right track together. We are going to heal together. We are going to be together. That's what's going to go down. And that's what I got. So I want to tell you how to get there. All right. All right, y'all. That's about it. It is the end of the Healing Hour Live. I have loved talking to you. Thank you so much for joining me over here on Instagram. Hey, on my Facebook page, Love After Cheating, and of course on my YouTube stream. I am having a wonderful time every week talking to more and more of you. Reach out to me if you need help, if you have a question, if you want to get into one of my coaching groups, if you want to talk about one-on-one coaching, let me know. I will help you out. I have all types of different things that will fit your needs and help you get to the next stage, help you get to the point where you feel like you can love and trust again, and it's not as hard. I want you to get to the place where it's not hard anymore, so you can be like, oh my God, Dasha, I got there. It's not hard anymore, and I can cheer and do a thirsty Thursday for you because it's not hard anymore. All right, so that's what I'm going for. So feel free to reach out to me, DM me on Instagram, message me on Facebook, Love Coach Dasha, and oh, if you're on my email list, you can email me, Dasha at loveworthkeeping.com, or if you do not have my emails coming to you, shoot me an email. Let me know, and I will send you emails. I will let you know that I'm about to go live, and send you all types of things. I'll send you all types of topics of the week from time to time. So I won't spam you though, but I will message you and I will email you. So let me know what your email is, Dasha at loveworthkeeping.com. Whew. All right. I've talked enough. I've talked myself out. I have had a great time. Thank you very much for joining me. Remember, stay on the healing path, make healing choices, and do not do what the fear tells you to do. Okay? And do your deep breathing and your journaling. Get that out, please. All right, y'all. Alrighty, I will talk to you again next week, Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that's it. Bye.